Now, your notions of nationalism informed the debate on either side, both from Mr. Gopnik's perspective and especially from Mr. Gopnik's perspective, and somewhat from Mr. Gladwell's perspective. Did you feel they were properly represented?
I think what they were both trying to do, and it's difficult to do, was to take something that everybody's talked about and find some new way of getting at it. And I think they both tried to, you try to find a new door to come through. I mean, I invented those ideas of positive and negative nationalism because I was it was impossible to talk about nationalism in Canada. You were either, perceived by, I don't know, the free traders to be a crazy nationalist, or you were a Quebec nationalist. And there was no real way to talk about civic belonging. And what's interesting in the debate today was that people were saying, belonging doesn't have to be negative. It can be civic. I think that the opportunity that they were talking about and the problem that they were talking about is indeed that we were created in a completely atypical way. We were this lousy, poor, isolated, unimportant place that the British didn't really want and the French didn't want at all, and the United States would like to have just because we had some stuff under the ground, but that was the only reason. But unlike every other Western place, Australia followed us in a certain sense. Unlike every other Western place, there was no majority. In Europe or in the United States, they went to war to kill people in order to create majorities, in order to, either to remove them or to artificially force them to pretend that they were part of the majority. So you have that American, I am an American, no matter what the hell you are. And in France, they just basically, or in Germany, they just killed them, right? Or forbade their languages, or England too. And so we're this very unusual place that there was no possibility of a majority, and therefore no possibility of a single mythology, and therefore no possibility of fitting into the European United States idea of a nation state, which is a monolithic nation state. We couldn't do it. And so we don't make any sense to them. But the trouble is that because we've never really said to ourselves really toughly, and I like that about today, people were saying, we've got to be tough about this, toughly to ourselves, we're not like them. I mean, we got this, we took this from England, we took that from France, we like this in the United States. But essentially we are not an 18th, 19th century European American nation state. We aren't. So stop pretending we are. Doesn't mean we're better or smarter or whatever. We're something else. And that's why we look like the kind of experiment that might work today, because of course that 18th, 19th century experiment has failed. It's failing, it has failed, the Europeans are abandoning it, the Americans aren't doing well with it. And here we are, we're going on experimenting with this completely non-European, non-United States method, but we don't know how to describe it. It's what I try to do, is to describe it. And I think what they were doing today was trying to talk about it. But what we have to do is we have to be I think we have to stop saying that we are the inheritors of the British or the French, or that we're just like the United States. And we have to stop saying that because we're different, we're better, or because we're different, they're worse. We have to say, look, we went down a different path. It's an interesting path. So let's talk about how that path works and what do you call it and what are the names for it and so on.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ralston Saul.
Okay.